Very good morning to all my subscribers, my viewers, the obedient family, active citizens, and Nigerians. Thank you for joining me once again. Now, I've said this, no matter the amount of propaganda and lies that this government keeps spreading about their activities and their wins, the reality is staring them on the face on a daily basis, and the truth is always coming to limelight. Now, Tinubu's Afenifere have come out to knock him off. In fact, they detailed his failures and in fact the corruption and the level of criminality that is happening in his government for the past 2 years. They said it exactly the way it is. I can tell you that there is nobody that have detailed this thing as good as they did, because they gave a clear explanation of every single misdeed and every single criminality that is actually happening now and all the failures that there is for the past 2 years. Countering the lies and the propaganda that these people are selling out. I'm going to be showing you that video. But before I do that, let me quickly talk about this. I have said this times without number, and I will repeat myself. The office of the citizens is the greatest office in the land. And if Nigerians can unite against the system and all the criminalities and all the errors, we'll find out that a change will start coming up. Now, there have been series of police misdeed happening in different states. Yesterday, it was one of the states in the southeast. A policeman, because of the fact that they refused to give him Roger, shot a truck tire and condemned the tire. Now, the owner of the truck was actually crying and trying to, talk to the policeman to actually replace his tire and all that, and the policeman was proving very stubborn. Now, the people decided to wade into it. A huge amount of Nigerians came out and they insisted that tire, he must go back and buy it. And I can tell you that with the amount of police that came up, with the presence of, they couldn't hold the people back. They had to go and buy that tire and fix it for the man. And that is why I'm telling you that the office of the citizens, if united, is the greatest office of the land, in the land. And there is nothing, if there is unity of purpose, that the citizens cannot achieve. Let me pass you through that video, those videos. And when I come back, we'll continue. Please watch.
Driver kwechiri apart kwa mota mana ibo nyala mota kwechiri there no because of ego le keji bo tire okay mmadu onye nyere ego dobe ha. They must pay for this tire. Say people gonna motor here. I'm a nano na hold up amana sina reba am ego no na tire anolo na ka here happening life na target Onitsha. All you need police na me because of ego ne. Am here drivers in the face n'ụzọ. Onye anokete no. They must pay for this tire. I'm ego no driver dey spend n'ụzọ. Am every driver na ata. Iye kekata ego n'ụzọ. Dizeki na-eme salaka. Ine-eme unwilling salaka. What a nonsense. Driver kwechiri here. I need no ebe. They must pay for this thing. Can put to a stop for this. Can be here. Onye olibia opua. They will put an end to this nonsense. I must miss in a man na elenu la komoti na the license. After news you question him and they will try to suffer you. They will try to wicked you. Confirm. I'm gonna Oga, abachi kite na zuare. Abachi kite na zuare. Ta, odi ya de lo. Ta. 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 Eche na amangie. Eche na amangie. Eche na amangie. Eche na amangie. Hey, 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 hey. Confirm.
Now you've seen it, right? This might be a minute event for some people, but I can tell you that it signifies the power that a united people have against their oppressors or against the institutions that is actually messing them up. Now you can actually see what actually happened there, where when the crowd gathered and said, okay, you must do this, it happened. And that is why we keep talking about Nigeria and Nigerians. With all the sufferings we are passing through, with all the pains, with all the penury, with all the lies and propaganda that have been sold to us, the only thing that these people have against us is the disunity they plant, the seed of discord they plant within us, so that we hate each other. And we will never, so that we can never come to terms with the fact that they are the ones that are the enemies and unite and fight them. That is what they do. And the problem, the truth about it is that they are winning. They are winning because they know that if the people decide and come together and say, okay, we've had enough, collectively, there is nothing they can do. They will be chased out of those places, those offices there in no time. So that is why they make sure that they weaponize hunger, they weaponize illiteracy, they sell bigotries, they plant the seed of discord so that when people are hungry, they don't have the energy to actually agree. They can manipulate them the way they want. When you have illiterates, they can only think, just within. They can't think beyond. Then when you have that bigotry, because the reason why they plant bigotry is for even the literates, because 90% of those that are powerful bigots are those that actually went to school and graduated and have you will see somebody with a master's, the level of bigotry where they dish out. They understand how it plays out, and they have successfully bonded a good amount of Nigerians, even the ones that are literates, that are expected to know better, with that tribal and religious bigotry. And that is why you see we can't come together. But the day we get to throw all these things away and say, okay, we've had enough, that day their lies and propaganda ends. Their deceit ends. Their wickedness ends. And that is why we keep sending the message. That is why we keep exposing their follies, as Afenifere did, as I'm about to show you. When I come back, we'll wrap this up. According to Vanguard newspaper, the headlines, Afenifere to Tinubu, you failed Nigerians woefully. Let us get into the details of this. Now it reads, the Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization Afenifere Sunday lamented that President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope has turned into a nightmare for Nigerians. Afenifere, in a statement by its leader and National Publicity Secretary Oba Oladipo Olaitang and Justice Faloye, said the midterm report of Tinubu's administration has shown that every human development and socio-political index has regressed. It also accused the administration of engaging in massive propaganda, claiming false successes. The statements read, the midterm report shows that every human development and socio-political index has regressed since the coming to office of the President Bola Tinubu's administration, turning the promises of renewed hope to a nightmare of regression, hopelessness, and despair. Rather than take full responsibility for the unmitigated sufferings inflicted on Nigerians in the past 2 years on account of its wrong policy choices and wasteful spendings, the Tinubu's administration has engaged in massive propaganda, claiming false successes and shifting blames to global and historical factors, and showing scant empathy for ordinary Nigerians, basically due to unforced error, especially the oversight of the production elements of subsidy and floating the naira, without any preparation to cushion the predictable impact. The Tinubu's economic reform has turned out to be Tinubu's economic deforms. A prebendal and government for the privileged and connected. Despite the Tinubu's administration's economic policies causing huge inflation that cuts real wages into over half, only 4.1% of the Nigerian population in the civil service had their wages increased by 38%. Reliance on unproven channels for the distribution of pitiable, half-hearted food and other palliatives were corruptly split among those connected, while uncontested mega projects were brazenly given to those with well-known connections to the president. It is obvious that the Tinubu's administration has no intention of delivering the greatest good, the greatest number of Nigerians. That's greatest good to the greatest number of Nigerians. I believe is an error there. 2 years into its tenure, and contrary to its well-advertised electoral promises, the Tinubu's administration is yet to implement Oresanya reports to cut cost of governance. Instead, the costs have ballooned, with new costs centered for cronies to milk. The tone of government at all levels is one of profligate Jai lifestyle, while the masses are being berated about Nigeria's wasteful past and the imperative of sacrifice to restore physical integrity. The government's first supplementary budget and subsequent budgets were spent on not only preserving but increasing the luxurious lifestyle of those in government. New presidential jets, Cadillac limousines, 160 million cars for each federal legislator, and scandalous increase in unaccounted constituency projects worth billions to each legislator. In the quest for absolute power, the Tinubu's administration is trading off lives of Nigerians by refusing to devolve power for state police. The Tinubu's administration is destructuring instead of restructuring the military-imposed constitution towards true federalism. It has shown increasingly centralizing tendencies to further weaken the federalist elements in the constitution by attacking federating units with the takeover of their administrative units, known as local governments. Tinubu is destructuring the pillars of our democracy by neutralizing the legislature and judiciary put in place for balance of power and robust representative governance. It is obvious that the agenda is a one-party state totalitarianism. In the last 2 years, we have witnessed a marked increase in intolerance of protest by dissenting civil groups. Peaceful protesters, students, and labor groups are hounded, destabilized, and bullied. In recent times, we have seen a gale of opposition politicians decamping to the ruling party to prevent institutional victimization. Even government sponsorship of internal conflict in opposition parties and socio-political groups are in open. Some recent appointments to the Independent National Electoral Commission are speculated to be card-carrying members of the ruling party. The emasculation of liberal democratic values are flagrantly displayed without any shame or restraint. It has been a harrowing experience living through the pains and anguish of the last 2 years inflicted on the nation by the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The midterm report is a duty that Afenifere must fulfill to prevent governmental propagandists from drowning the voices of millions of hungry and deprived Nigerians. Rather than focusing on service delivery, the Tinubu's administration is focusing on winning the 2027 election regardless of the voters. No amount of propaganda will erase hunger and poverty in the land. Only selfless and empathic leaders can serve the people, not prebendalist and hedonistic lifestyle. If this midterm report was an academic exercise, the students will receive an advice to withdraw from the examiner. But we believe there is still room for redemption. We urge the president and his choir of mandate seekers to reflect and for a change just love Nigeria and Nigerians. Now you can see that, right? This is a long, detailed, explanation of the realities on ground, and rightly so. Everything was captured. The criminalities, the wasteful, everything was captured, and it's just the basic truth. Now let's get back to the video. Now you've seen it, right? Detailing capturing every event that is actually happening in this government. I've said it, the level of theft in these 2 years of Tinubu's government supersedes Buhari's own for 8 years. the level of wasteful spendings in this government, the level of criminality, and the fact that they have no regard for the constitution. They will trash them, mess them up. Look at what is happening. You said you remove subsidy. The question is, where is the money? You say they should ask governors. Was the agreement to remove subsidy and give it to governors? Wasn't the agreement to remove subsidy and then put it in major aspects or areas of economic growth or human growth in this country? You carry this, you remove subsidy, the next thing you are buying the conscience of these governors by increasing. They know what they are doing. They know clearly that for them to be able to, in fact, they started planning 2027 the very day they stepped into that power, where he shouted subsidy is gone. Because he removed subsidy and went to start increasing the allocation of governors, and 90% of them are not working. Increase the whole thing for the house member. It is deliberate. Increase the, what do they call it? Project allowance, or whatever they call it, constituency project allowance for the lawmakers. Some of them get up to 1 billion, some of them get up to 2 billion. It was deliberate to buy the conscience of these people. So anybody that thinks that this thing they are doing was for the people, you are lying to yourself. They know clearly that 90% of these politicians will not execute these projects, but they want to buy their allegiance, by their support. And that is why you can see he's widely celebrated by governors, but not by the people. He's widely celebrated by the elites, because they have seen that, oh, clearly this guy is actually, we are popping in, and this guy is actually enjoying. We are enjoying this man. He's actually reaching out to us. So we are having more to steal, and more to eat, and more to waste. And that is why I said, if you want to check development, let us talk about HGIs. Human development, what have you done? How does it directly affect the people? Go out there in the street and ask them, oh, how are you feeling about this government? That is when you know whether the government is working or not. But any other thing they talk, any other thing they say is propaganda, lies, deception. Lying everywhere. You're selling propaganda everywhere. Trying to confuse people, because they have nothing to offer. It's a government of the elites, by the elites and for the elites. It's a government of snatch and grab, even with the finances. And that is why you see celebrations everywhere. The governors hailing him. Governor saying, come back, come back. Lawmaker saying, unopposed. Because he has money, the money he's supposed to use and help develop the people, he has started giving it to them to eat. So what he's trying to do is to buy their conscience. He don't care about whatever happens to the people. The people are on their own. After all, in the country, you don't win an election with the people. The people's vote don't count. So if you can buy these people and they agree with you, that's all. They will manipulate the result for you and you'll be okay. That is why I told you he practiced his form of politics is a dark politics. Dark one. That is what he does. And you can clearly see it. It's all over the place. That they suffer, the people that are faced with the realities, there is no change. For the past 2 years, nobody has experienced. Instead, they are getting into more deep problems. But the elites are enjoying. The elites are singing his praises because, why? He has given them more money to steal. And that is what is happening. Now let me drop this here, guys. Please drop your comments in the comment section. Really love to hear from you. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Turn on the notification bell so that whenever I drop a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you for watching this video. Have a blessed remaining part of your day. I'll see you next time.